Hello there, I'm James Gilmer, your User Services Librarian, here to introduce the library's webinar on library resources for business students.
I have some learning objectives for you to kind of keep yourself on track, and by the end of this session you should be able to do all of three of these things. So the first objective is knowing what library resources that are available, both print and online, that specialize in business. You may think you may know what you can use from the library for research or for assignments or for class, but I want to make sure you know all of them, and that way you know all of your options. The second one is navigating and searching the library's business databases to find specific types of sources. There's all sorts of different sources we have that range from newspaper articles to journals to books to ebooks, and you have so many options, so I want to make sure you realize that there's a lot of options and how different types of sources can serve you well. And the third objective is knowing where to get additional assistance in conducting research in the field of business. If you ever feel lost, we have ways that can and things that can help you in getting your your research off the ground and using our resources to get the things that you need. So by the end of this session, you should have the tools to do all of these things. And if not, you can always come back to this webinar and rewatch it, since you will all be getting a recording of this. Or you can always reach out to us and we're always happy to help. So with these learning objectives in mind, I'm going to start with just defining what business is. Now this may sound a little trivial, just because if you're someone who's in the business program here, you're probably like, I already know what business is. It's not something I don't understand. But I always like to define it just so everyone's kind of on the same page. So business, as you probably know, is a really broad field, and it includes several different disciplines, including economics, accounting, different types of management, entrepreneurship, finance, and marketing. So there's a vast, broad spectrum of fields in business, and depending on the discipline, your research needs may vary. Some common fields and interests in business include business management and business administration, stocks, insurance, accounting and finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, and economics. And a lot of these fields can be applied to other areas, such as sports, the arts, and STEM, especially the fields of management and entrepreneurship. I know some of you may be interested in sports, and so maybe you want to go into sports management. So a lot of the business sources we have through the library would help with sports management or any kind of some kind of administration or administrative sector in terms of different industries. So I wanted to start by defining that, and so you get a sense of what business is, how vast it is, and so that everyone's on the same page when it comes to knowing what it is and where and how you can conduct research on that topic. So going off of that, what library resources are available to you for conducting research in business? And there are several resources available to you from our website. The first, hopefully you're familiar with already, is Dragon Quest, which is our online catalog, and it has print and electronic sources from pretty much all of our databases and puts them into one searchable platform. There is also our A to Z database list, which is our large list of databases, and you can filter our list out to show you just our business databases, and that will help narrow down your search. Some of the things that will be helpful with using the A to Z database list include the databases that are listed on this slide here. The first one being the EBSCO business databases, which are going to be your best bet because they work the same as Dragon Quest, meaning they have the same exact search functions. Some of the other options include Mergent Online, Newsbank, Opposing Viewpoints in Context, and Sage Business Cases. And I'm going to demonstrate how to use all of these in a little bit, but I'm going to start with Dragon Quest and the EBSCO business databases first. Aside from the A to Z database list, there's also business subject research guides on our website, which provide tips on conducting research on business and marketing topics, and it lists relevant publications and databases, as well as other relevant sources that can help with the research process. So I'm going to start with introducing you to Dragon Quest, and if you've already used Dragon Quest before, that's great. I always like to just review this real quickly, even if you are familiar with it, because some people may not be as familiar with it as you are. And it's one of the things that a lot of the upperclassmen on campus here tend to swear by. So that's why I always like to cover this just in case. So like I said, Dragon Quest is our electronic catalog, and it combines print and online material from our campus, OhioLink libraries throughout the state of Ohio, and individual resource licenses purchased by the library. It's located on our homepage, as well as in the A to Z list of databases on our website, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. And it basically allows you to find things that are kind of on all of our databases. And so what it does is that it combines our materials into one searchable platform. So when you're on our homepage, you're going to see that there's a Dragon Quest search bar right in the middle of the homepage. And there's these different search tabs that you can use to do like kind of quick searches. The first one just being a Dragon Quest bar, which just allows you to do a very basic search, type in a couple search terms and just hit enter. But then there's also different tabs, including one for articles, which will search for only journal articles. There's one for books, which only searches for OhioLink books. And then there's also journals, which only searches for journal titles. So to do a basic search in Dragon Quest, you just have to basically go to our homepage and type in your search terms. Unless you're using the, let me go to the previous slide here, the articles, books, or journals tabs, you're going to follow similar steps. So once you type in your search terms, you select one of the three options below the search bar, which is keyword, title, or author. That's just basically going to categorize your search terms into a specific one of these categories. And then once you hit search, you're going to use the Refine Results tab on the left side to filter out and limit your search results to kind of help narrow them down. So I'm going to show you kind of just how that looks. And I'm just going to show you down here. I typed here some potential search terms that may help you since you're going to want to be looking for business sources. So you're going to want to be thinking of some keywords and phrases that are going to be related to your field. And obviously there's more than just what I've listed here, but some key terms that might be helpful are things like Wall Street, finance, financial crisis, recession, trading/stocks, marketing, branding, target market, supply chain, and things like that, and so on and so forth. So depending on what discipline you're in, like if you're in accounting, you may have some vocabulary words in your class or some key concepts that you've been discussing in class. You can definitely use those as your search terms to help you find sources that will be on your topic. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to another tab here. So you can see this is our library homepage. The Dragon Quest tab is right smack dab in the middle. You can't miss it. And here are the three tabs to search. So there's articles, books, journals. I'm just going to do a basic search in Dragon Quest in just a minute just to kind of show you. I'll do Wall Street just to keep it simple. And I'm going to keep it at keyword just because Wall Street's kind of a keyword. I'm not really looking for anything with Wall Street in the title, but if you are, then you would want to click that, obviously. So we've got quite a few results here. So I'm going to show you a couple things in the filters on the left side here that are going to help narrow them down and make it a little easier to find things. First, what I always recommend, checking off the full text checkbox, because that's going to take out anything that you won't be able to access kind of right away. So it's great for finding things efficiently. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to subject. And what this kind of does is it gives you some other topics that could be related to what you typed in here. And then it allows you to check them off, and then it'll add it to your search. I'm going to go to show more, and then I'm just going to kind of scroll through these here so you can kind of see all the different types of subjects that are related. And then the numbers on the right side correspond to how many results there are related to that word. So it would basically be adding those to your results. So what it did now, when I checked off technology, it added that to the search, but it also included Wall Street. So it kind of made it a lot narrower because it's using both the technology word that I checked off under subject, and then also using Wall Street. So you can kind of see how that is a way to narrow down your search a bit. So I kind of did this a little bit with using the subject filter, but when you want to conduct an advanced search, it's a little bit different than your basic Dragon Quest search, and that's because you have something called Boolean terms that you're able to use, which are basically words that include or exclude specific search terms, and they help you locate items more easily. So the Boolean terms that are on Dragon Quest are and, or, and not. And basically what they do is they make the search smaller or bigger depending on what you use. Now, and is the word that searches for sources with all of the search terms that you included in the search bar. Or kind of does the opposite. It searches for items with one search term or the other. So it searches for one or the other. And then not excludes any search terms or search results with the term that you put in the second box. So basically, I'm going to demonstrate how this works here. So I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to click Advanced Search. And so what an advanced search is it gives you multiple search boxes. You can add more if you like. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same search term from before. And then I'm going to type something in here under the second box. And then what you want to do is you want to change this to fit your research needs. So if you're looking for something like, for example, if I'm searching for something on Wall Street and then something about technology, and I want to search for both, you want to have and selected. I'm going to do a search on all of these with the different Boolean terms to kind of show you what the difference is. So we got about 377,000 results on that one. I'm going to change it to or. So what it's going to do is it's going to make a search page or come up with search results that have either one of these. You can kind of see with when I had and selected, this first result has both terms in the search result. When I change it to or, it's going to search for sources that have either one but not both. Looks like in some cases it does include both. But the idea is that it makes your search a lot bigger because it searches for either one. So it looks like it may not necessarily exclude ones that have both, but it makes your search a lot bigger because it will take one. If it finds at least one of those words, it will show in your search results. So I'm going to go change it to not. So when I change it to not, it's going to take out all of the sources that have technology in it, or mention technology, or mention the word. And so you can kind of see, I'm going to scroll through the first couple results here. You don't see anything related to technology. And then once you kind of figure that out and do what you need to do with that, you're also able to select these drop downs here to categorize your word. I don't use these a whole lot, but you can use them to make your search more specific. So like, for example, if you want to use Wall Street as like something in the title, you can change it to title. If you want to search for something like an author's name, you can change this to author. So you can kind of fiddle around with these. And then once you get to your search results, you would do the same thing you would a basic search and just use refine results down here. So when you are searching Dragon Quest and you want to retrieve peer-reviewed sources from either our databases or any of our databases or Dragon Quest, really all you have to do is filter your results to scholarly/peer-reviewed journals. And if it's a print source, you can request it through OhioLink, which is indicated by the green request button under a search result, and then the item is sent for pickup at the circulation desk. You can also place an interlibrary loan request, which may take a couple of days to fill, or you can locate the item in our library stacks if it's a book we own. Now, for most of you, you're probably going to be wanting to use a lot of our electronic sources just because they're more convenient. You just want to look for links underneath the search result that say something like PDF, full text, or full download, HTML, online access, or ebook, or something along the lines of, if you click here, it'll take you to the source. And Dragon Quest tends to prioritize electronic sources first, so if you want to find print sources, you may have to kind of play around with the filters to find what you need. But either way, we have a lot available, so you should be able to find at least something, whether it's print or electronic. So if you are looking for citation information and you're looking for ways to cite your sources in the field of business, most business classes use APA format. So you're going to want to use some kind of source or citation management software. Some examples listed here are Noodle Tools, which we have a tutorial on. Zotero and Academic Writer are also options, and RefWorks and EasyBib are also options for you too. If you don't want to use those, you can also find citations in Dragon Quest by clicking on the cite icon on the right side of your source profile, and then just copy and paste the citation directly into your document. And I'll show you kind of where that is. So I'm going to just I'll click on this source down here. And so you're going to see the cite option is right there. So you click on that, scroll down to APA, and the citation's already made for you. So this will be really helpful in getting you started with citations. You will want to make sure that they're still formatted correctly because they're not always 100% accurate, but they're a great way to make sure your citations are at least started on the right track, and so you don't feel like you have to make them from scratch. So that was just an overview of how to use Dragon Quest to locate business type sources. But I'm going to show you our A to Z database list now, which contains almost 200 databases from our website, and it's listed alphabetically by default. And you can browse by letter or use the drop-down menus to filter out databases relevant to your topic. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a minute. So you want to use the drop-downs to filter out the databases that are relevant to business. And if you remember, all of the databases we have that fall under EBSCO, which is a provider that we have, that means if it's an EBSCO database, it shares the same platform and functions of Dragon Quest. So it's going to look very similar and have the same functions, so it'll be really easy to use. So if you want to see our database list, just go to our homepage, click on Databases, and you can either go to the drop-down and click Business, or you can type in Business right here, and that would work too. Now it's going to kind of show you your best bets in yellow, but then the rest are going to be filtered down here. So like I said, if it has EBSCO underneath, then that means it's going to look very similar to Dragon Quest and have the same search functions. I'll just kind of show you what that looks like real quick. So you can see the search features look very similar. You can still do pretty basic search there. And everything looks pretty much the same as if you're doing a search in Dragon Quest, which is super convenient. So kind of going off of the EBSCO host database list that I was just showing you, so these are some of the best ones you might want to use in terms of business. Business Source Complete, which is the one that I just showed you, That one has full text sources from scholarly business journals, including the Harvard Business Review. The second one is Entrepreneurial Studies Source, which contains sources on business planning, communications, innovations, management, marketing, organizational behavior, and product development. There's Regional Business News, which has full text articles from regional business journals and newspapers from the United States. And then there's the Small Business Reference Center, which has information on small businesses and entrepreneurial subjects, common business types, creating business plans, and business funding. So it's important to remember that items in these databases are included in Dragon Quest searches, but it's always a good idea to not use Dragon Quest for everything, because if you're searching these individually, you're going to find more specific sources than if you're just searching Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest can just get very overwhelming because it includes everything. So that's why I always recommend that you use these and search them individually, because you're probably going to save a lot of time. So on top of the EBSCOhost databases, I'm going to demonstrate a couple databases that don't have Dragon Quest search functions, but are going to be very helpful in locating business data and business sources. So the first one is Mergent Online, which is a database that has business information like financial reports, company news, stuff like that for US and international companies. And topics include like supply chains, economics, industry analyses, share summaries and fluctuations, and company statistics like revenue. So if you want to search this one, you obviously have to first go to our A to Z business database list and find Mergent Online in our list and just click that link. And then use the basic or advanced search options to search for a company or a brand that you're interested in. You can also search by product. So if you don't know the brand, you can search by product. Or if you don't want to do that, you can use any of the other search tabs that are on the homepage. And I kind of listed them here. So I'm going to show you where to find Mergent Online. And actually, it's located under the business category, so I'm just going to click it right here. And so this is what the homepage looks like. Now you can do a basic search or an advanced search, like I just mentioned. Or if you want, you can also do a search with these tabs here, which kind of narrow down your search to that type of resource or that type of data, depending on what you're looking for. So I'm going to do, so you can do an advanced search. When you do an advanced search, basically it allows you to put in like a company's name or the state that they're from, their zip code, stock exchange information, all that kind of stuff. Or you can also search by executive name, their financials, industry codes if you know it, pricing. So you can kind of search all different types of ways. And in the basic search, you can just basically search by a company's name or a product. So I'm going to do a basic search and just pull up a profile up here. So if you are searching for something and nothing really comes up as a suggestion, that probably means that Mergent Online doesn't have that company in their database. So you may have to find something similar to that brand if they don't have it. I'm just putting a couple in here. So it gives you a couple options if there's more than one branch of a company. So I'm going to go back to Hershey. And so this can look a little overwhelming, so don't feel overwhelmed. Try not to freak out. But so what this basically does, it has a big giant profile of whatever company you type in, and it has things like it has a little business summary, pricing summary, some key financial statistics, and it keeps them pretty updated. So this one's from October 3rd, 2021. It has information on the executives that are in charge. And you can click on these different tabs and look at the different statistics that they have. And it puts everything kind of in little charts for you, so it's great in terms of navigating through the whole thing. In some of these tabs, I think the things like company reports are going to be available for download. So you can also click on download and see some of the reports as well. So there's a lot you can do with this database just because there's so much. So I always recommend using this if you are interested in anything related to corporate brands or maybe stocks or finances. So the next database I'm going to demonstrate is Newsbank, which contains thousands of newspapers from the United States and from across the world. And this one's a little bit different. To search this one, you can conduct a basic or advanced search to see all the news articles related to whatever your search terms are, or you can use the filters to narrow down your results, or browse the suggested topics function for any of the following subject areas, which fall under kind of the field of business. So the suggested topics in Newsbank that would be related to business are personal finances and financial literacy, the global economy, company practices, and industries. So you can browse that way, or you can browse by publication if you want to look for a specific publication by using the A to Z list on the database homepage. So there's a bunch of different ways you can search this one. So I'm going to go back to our database list. Newsbank is located right under Mergent. So you can kind of see there's the search bar in the center, so you can just type in your search terms and search that way. If you want to do an advanced search, you can just go to more search options. I'll open this in a new tab. And if this looks very similar to Dragon Quest because it has the different boxes for searching, the Boolean terms with the drop-down, the date or different fields you can change here, and then you can just hit search and narrow it down that way. So that's how to do like a basic or advanced search. Again, like I mentioned in the slides, you can also browse by publication by clicking here. And it basically alphabetizes all of the publications that are in that database. And then if you click on one, it will show you all of the publications or the articles that are from that publication all in a list. So if you click on one, it'll kind of show you kind of all of the articles available. So it allows you to browse issues by date when you're looking by publication. So then you end up wanting to, you just want to pick a date, or you can kind of change the date here. You can click, let's see, go to 2018. And so whatever numbers are in blue means that there's a publication for that date. The grayed out ones mean there's nothing there. So it looks like this one was only published on Sundays. So I'll go to January 14th, 2018, and then it shows you all of the articles that were published on that date by that publication. So there's going to be a ton of different articles related to different things on this database. So it might be a little tough to find business things just because there's other topics. But if you're searching for something within the field of business by using the search bar, that'll help you a lot. So like I said, if you're kind of having trouble using the search bars or the A to Z publication list, you can just go to the suggested topics down below and click on any of the topics that would be related to your search topic or would just be interesting to you. Like I said, the business related fields are probably going to be this one, probably maybe technology, STEM, maybe sports, depending on if you're into sports management, possibly science. I mean, if you're doing any kind of administration of some kind, you could probably click on any of these. It would just depend on the field that you're interested in. So that's just a brief overview of what Newsbank is. And before I move on, I'm actually going to, I'll do a quick search because I didn't realize I didn't do one. I'll do a search for Tiffin University and see if anything comes up. So it looks like a little bit. So whenever you're looking at your search results, if you do a search like this, it's going to have the title of the article on the left side, and then it gives you like a little preview on the right. So you can kind of see, like, it'll highlight which words you mentioned are mentioned in each article. So you can kind of see if it's something you want to look at. And then if you want to view the article, you can just click on the title and it should open up for you. There we go. So pretty simple. If you want to get the citation information for this, you just want to find the cite icon here. And then you can get the citation info by clicking on APA, or if you use a management software, you can get the file exported and then you can import it into your program. But if not, you can always just copy and paste it into your document if you just want to do that. So that's kind of what a search result in Newsbank looks like. So hopefully this will come in handy for you, especially if you need newspaper articles. So the next database I want to show you is Opposing Viewpoints in Context, which is a nice database for finding alternative points of view on different topics that can help you make informed conclusions about an issue. And topics on this database include business and economics, energy and environmentalism, law and politics, STEM, technology, society and culture, and war and diplomacy. And to search this one, you can conduct a basic search using the search bar at the top of the homepage, or use the advanced search function for a more specific search. You can also browse current issues using the browse feature, so it just depends on how you want to look for things. And so opposing viewpoints should be, should be under O, I believe. And it looks like it may not be under the business category. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to clear this. There it is. So it's going to be called Opposing Viewpoints on our list. And so you can kind of see there's a pattern here. So there's a basic search bar right here. You can do an advanced search by clicking here. You can also do a publication search. Actually, I'm going to go back for a second. Yeah, so that's under only the advanced search. So if you want to do a publication search, you got to go to the advanced search function first. So you can do that. You can also search by topic, which can also be helpful. And so what it kind of does is when you type in a topic, it'll give you like a breakdown of the kind of the keywords that come up the most when you type compared to what you typed in. So the larger pieces mean more results on that topic. I'll go to business travel. And so basically what it does is it kind of guides you through a search in a way. And so when you click on one of these, it'll take you to the results on the right with links to the full source. And so when you click on a source, it'll give you the date, the place where it originally came from, and then the source is down here. And then the citation is usually at the bottom. So that's just one way to kind of find sources. There's a bunch of different ways you can arrive at a source in this database. It just depends on how you search it. But you can do a search like that. I'm going to do, let's see. I'll just do small business owners. Now this is a keyword search, so it's a little bit different, but it kind of works the same way, and then it pulls up things that are related to what you searched. And then there's different like issues that come up. So for example, the first one is gender and small business success, talking about, I guess, the disadvantages women have in having small businesses. So these are journal articles down here. These are viewpoints, which are kind of the whole point of the opposing viewpoints database. So it talks about some controversial issues like immigration reform and endangered species policies. And then looks like there's a reference source here too, and a couple images. So you can also kind of narrow these down by clicking on the different content types. So if you want to look for just viewpoints, just click on viewpoints and it'll show you only those. So it just depends on kind of what you're looking for. The last way you can kind of browse through this one is click on the Browse Issues section. And then it allows you to kind of just select from any of these predetermined topics. And some of the ones that might be good for business might be like sharing economy. Let's see if there's more. Globalization, government spending, possibly. Green cities. I'm sure there's a business one. I'll go down to these down here. So like big technology monopolies. So looks like there's not an outright business one, but there's definitely ones that are related to business. So this would be a great resource for you to use if you're interested in some kind of issue in the field that you're studying. So you can kind of see there's a bunch of different ways you can search this database. You'll arrive at the same sources. It just, depending on what type of search method you use, you'll just get there a little bit differently. So I just kind of wrote out the instructions here. When you're doing a search, there's different source types, which I listed here that you saw when I was doing the basic search. And then you can also search within your search results by using the search bar on the page. And as always, it's really recommended to take a second to evaluate the sources you're looking at, because you want to make sure that they're reliable and accurate for whatever assignment you're completing or whatever you're going to use them for. So the last database I'm going to show you briefly is Sage Business Cases, which is a digital collection of business cases from over 100 countries. And it's great for locating sources on accounting, business ethics, finance, marketing, and business management. And to search this one, you can either browse the collection by discipline, or you can conduct a keyword search using the orange search bar on the home page. And you want to make sure that you're using the orange search bar, because that's going to give you only the business cases. You don't want to search the entire database collection, which can be searched with another search bar that's on the home page. And then if you want full text sources, just check off the content available to me checkbox. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm going to go down to business again. And there's Sage Business Cases. And so remember, you want to use this search bar, not this one. Search the orange one. I'm just going to do a basic search. And so you're going to see results here, strictly business cases, you can see at the top. And I'm going to check off the content available to me box so that it'll only show me things that are available right away. You just got to remember, you got to click apply filter first. And then to view any of these sources, the ones that have the lock on them usually mean that you can't get the full source. So I'm going to find one. This first one doesn't have a lock on it. So I'm going to click here. And then the case is outlined for you. And you can download this. You can cite it by clicking here. And everything's pretty much laid out for you there. You can also search within the case by using the search bar here. The advanced search is pretty similar to the ones you've seen already, where you can search for more than one term. And the same rules apply. You just use the filters on the left to filter out content that you want right away or that is available in full text. You can narrow it down by source type, discipline, publication date, all very similar filters to the rest of the databases that I've shown you previously. You can also browse cases by topic as well. So if you are interested in any of these and just want to kind of see what this database has, you can do that as well. So just to kind of recap everything, I know that was a lot that I just showed you. So to kind of recap everything, using the library, you can find all sorts of things on business and related topics, and the sources you can use are Dragon Quest, which is our online catalog, and which is the catalog that combines the items in our databases into one searchable platform. There is our A to Z database list, which includes EBSCO databases that share the same search functions as Dragon Quest. Those include Business Source Complete and Entrepreneurial Studies Source, and then there's others as well. And then there's the non-EBSCO databases that I just demonstrated, which were Mergent Online, Opposing Viewpoints, Newsbank, and Sage Business Cases. Now, if you're ever needing assistance on using any of these databases, you can always check out our tutorials and subject research guides. And these are meant to assist you with conducting research on a particular subject, topic, or area of study. And each guide contains search options, such as databases that we have that are relevant to the subject. There's also lists of publications and books that are provided by the library about that subject. There's also current news articles involving current events on the subject, and lists professional organizations related to that field. So the ones that you might want to check out for this field would be under business and citation. And to get to our research guides, all you got to do is go down to research guides down here. And you're going to see that they're all categorized by different subjects. So business is at the top here, and we have all sorts of different guides related to that you can check out. And then citation would also be helpful, because it has things on APA style and plagiarism and academic integrity, which is good all across the board, but APA is definitely going to help with business related sources.
Hello again, James Gilmer, User Services Librarian, here at the end of the webinar just to give you some resources for additional help should you have questions as you work on your research and other assignments. You can always email the library directly at library@tiffin.edu, and Luann or I will typically get back to you that day during the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday workday, or on our next business day for questions that fall outside of those hours. You can also contact me directly if you prefer at gilmerjm@tiffin.edu. I monitor both of those inboxes and get to questions as quickly as I can. For more generalized help, check out our other webinars, research guides, and tutorials that are linked in the description below and on the library's homepage, library.tiffin.edu. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with your research.